Welcome back, everybody, to a new episode of the Wisemen Say podcast. Ty Fisher alongside Jerald Lucas. This thing does not want to fucking stay up. Golly. Ty Fisher alongside Jerald Lucas. My friend, we are back. Now with video again.
Hey, y'all can see our ugly faces.
That's crazy. Last episode, we went over everything, Orlando-wise. We'll get back into that towards the end of the show, along with a special guest. Mike from Orlando Lions Den will be joining us on the show. But let's just get into some general MLS. I feel like we haven't just done general MLS.
We haven't
Overall throughout the entire season. So,
and that's outrageous.
Yeah, I know. So just general MLS. First things first, Pat Noonan, FC Cincinnati head coach, being named the 2023 Siggy Schmidt MLS Coach of the Year. Noonan, during his second year, taking the reins in the Queen City, takes him to the top of the Eastern Conference after the team won 3 consecutive wooden spoons. Top of the league, claiming the Supporter Shield, and home field advantage throughout the entirety of the playoffs, should they make it all the way. We knew it was coming.
Listen, we did. However, it still doesn't. We all Crew fans have it. Nazi should be Coach of the Year. Because, if you look at what he's done, first-year head coach, right? How he's turned the program around. I mean, the same thing you could say with Pat Noonan. But, this is the Wisemen Say, so.
Yeah, but, let's put our bias aside. Pat Noonan has done wonders with FC Cincinnati.
It should have been him and Nancy, 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
Now, watch out for next season. Nancy's winning Coach of the Year.
Yeah. Just looking at the voting results, Pat Noonan clears every category except for the media. The media had Bradley Carnell from St. Louis winning that. So you have 41% of the players voted for Pat Noonan. 56% of the clubs voted for Pat Noonan.
I know Columbus
38% of the media voted for Pat. Total of 45%. Bradley Carnell, 24% players, 20% clubs, 40% media for an average of 27%. And then absolutely ridiculous numbers. 17% of the players for Nancy, 10% of the clubs, 9% of the media for a total of 12% as Coach of the Year for our man at the helm at the black and gold.
That's outrageous.
Yeah, it is.
But given, what FC Cincinnati did, you still got to respect, Pat Noonan.
Yeah.
I respect him. Do I like the team? No. Do I like the city? Only for 2 teams. And it ain't for no Chile either. But you still have to respect Pat Noonan, right?
Yeah.
And stadium's nice.
Yeah, TQ is very nice.
Their media staff.
Nice.
Yeah. Made sure, when we were down there that everything, anything we needed was taken care of.
Wi-Fi was the biggest one, but they got it. They got it fixed for us
Real
right
quick.
before kickoff.
Yeah.
We
go to get, we go get something to eat, and we see somebody at our computers like,
Yeah, it's like, what is going on here? Oh, you're the IT guy. Okay, cool. Yeah, it's helping us with Wi-Fi. Cool.
But you got to give the respect for what he did, right?
Yeah.
Now, as far as keeping his players under control,
that's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah. So I think that, that's something to look at as well. But to have Nazi hit that low of percent, I get St. Louis City, right?
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
But that is absurd with those numbers. And that just further goes to show MLS's hatred towards Columbus.
You're on that bandwagon?
Hey,
You're on that bandwagon?
I still have some, some feelings about that, but we'll get into another topic about, what we were talking about off camera. Which I think that is just ridiculous.
Last time a Columbus Crew coach won MLS Coach of the Year, 2008, Siggy Schmidt.
Who then the award is named after.
Yep. Of course, Siggy Schmidt went on to coach Columbus Crew to their first MLS Cup, 3-1 win over the New York Red Bulls out in Los Angeles. Which was, it was weird how two Eastern Conference teams played each other for MLS Cup. But, I mean, I guess the game's a game. That's how you play it, I guess. Game's a game.
Hey, run it. Right.
But, go ahead.
So, we'll get, I'll get to it later. But, no, I think this year, Columbus has what it takes to win it. We'll talk about that later. But watch out for next year's Coach of the Year.
Did you see the video that of how he found out he was Coach of the Year?
No,
fucking so it they had him call they called a fake meeting, right? And he had no idea. So the club called a fake meeting and was like, "Oh yeah, the league just wants to have a meeting to go over some protocol. Of course, we have problems within our own club that we need to, address. So they just want to go over some things heading into the next round of games and make sure that everybody's on the same page and whatnot. And it's a Zoom call, and
that's even worse.
It pops up, and it pops up. Then it's like MLS, and this shows like whoever's controlling the FC Cincinnati part, they pin the MLS call us out like they're the main speaker, and then it just shows like some of the guys like Miazga, Nick Hagland, Ray Gaddis, talking about hey coach, and just giving like a whole message. And his family comes in, and it was like congratulations on winning the Coach of the Year, and he's just sitting there. He's like shocked. He's not shocked, but he's like taken aback by a little bit. And it was a pretty cool video. And then his family walks in with balloons and whatnot. And at the end, his one of the guys goes, Max speech, his son. And the son goes, win. And everybody just starts laughing and clapping. And I'm like, that's a pretty cool video. And then I'm like, I hope Philly wins. Like, don't get me wrong. It's a very cool video.
Yeah, but
I want Philly to win.
I do too. 3 games.
Oh, man.
3 games.
Can't get here any faster.
3 games.
it's absolutely wild.
It needs to get here faster because going into what we're going to talk about here in a little bit, which I think it's up next, takes away the sting of some announcements.
Yeah. Darlington Nagbe. Is that what you were going for?
No.
Okay, well, then I have no idea what you were going for. Darlington Nagbe signs a contract extension with the Columbus Crew through 2025 with a club option of 2026. This does keep him as a designated player. Although I did read something about he does meet the TAM threshold. So,
yes.
How that works, I have no idea. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just reading what the press release was sent to me and whatnot. So, the captain staying another couple of years in the black and gold. What's that say about Darlington and his character?
I mean, great leader, right? One of the best leaders. You put him up there with Jonah, right? Darlington does a lot for the city. It just look at how he's helped develop Aiden. Look how the caliber player Aiden has became. This year, right? Probably wouldn't have seen that without Darlington there in the midfield. So to bring Darlington back to, for 2025, per, Patrick Murphy, You know, he has said that, you know, this does qualify him for TAM, which means we can buy him down and open that DP spot up.
Yeah.
You know, so what a way, you know what I'm saying, to keep a great leader for the team and be able to still go out there and get, you know, some other stars to surround, you know what I'm saying, to surround the whole team and just become a monster.
Yeah.
Because everybody already doesn't want to come play in Columbus. You know, 20,000 fans, you know, sitting there screaming at the top of their lungs and a jackhammer going off and people having seizures because of the lights flashing. And, you know, it's the whole atmosphere. Nobody wants to come play in Columbus.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so you're keeping a leader like Darlington be able to help develop some of these younger players coming up. You know, look at who we have for Crew 2 that should be coming up here in another year or so.
Yeah.
You know, in the midfield, Cole Maroka, you know, Taha.
By the way, non-crew related but crew related, the U.S. U17s or the U.S. U17s, they lost in the World Cup. And there was a video I saw it on TikTok a couple minutes ago. Dude, seeing Taha break down just broke my heart, man.
It did, but he also got his first goal of the tournament.
He did. Yeah, he did.
He got his first goal, and from what I heard, it was a beautiful.
It was good.
You
it
know.
was good. I will say I did see it.
You know, I do remember, though, at a point in time during the season so far this year, you were not sure of Taha yet.
Me?
Yes. You said you haven't, you know, it.
Oh, because I haven't seen him play.
Yeah. And then now you see what he can do, the way he can break through defenses and, you know, everything.
Nice kid, by the way.
Yes.
Nice kid, by the way. I've talked to him a couple times at
training?
He's come to a couple of ODU games, all Dominican games.
He's very humble.
Yeah, he's a nice kid. He's funny as hell.
You know, but I mean, oh my God. Him and Maroka?
Yeah.
Cole is just...
Yeah. Nah, he's a cool guy. But back to Nagbe. It was I think him extending here in Columbus is the right choice. He wants
to retire here.
Yeah, that the club has done so far, you know. I also think it's, you know, it says a lot about his commitment to the club and the club's commitment to him.
Yes.
So, well, while we have it, we have the audio about his contract extension. So here's the video, courtesy of the Columbus Crew, by the way. So here's the video. If you guys want to hear what Nagbe had to say.
Obviously, for me, it's home. You know, not just for myself, my wife as well, my family, and being a part of the club in the past couple of years, and championship we won a couple of years ago, and then the direction that the club is heading in. I'm just thankful and grateful that they want me to be a part of it, and excited to stay. Yeah, I thought so, you know, but things don't always end up how you want them to end up. You know, that's how I imagined it in my mind. That's how I planned it up in my mind. The championship in the first year that I came, I didn't plan that out, but I was grateful and thankful that happened. But we got a good team, good people, good organization, and the future is bright. I haven't thought about it too much. I think a lot of it just happened organically. Just, you know, being you're somewhere for a good amount of time. You know, players come and go. You know, I think when you're one of the guys that kind of stays put and that's been there, people start to look to you for leadership. So I'm happy to be that. And happy to be a part of this group, part of this team, and your staff that has come in and shown faith in me as well. So I'm grateful to them and grateful to everyone here.
So he's committed. He's definitely committed.
He wants to retire black and gold.
Yeah, he's definitely committed.
You know, I put him up there with Jonah, right?
Yeah.
Jonah still has ties to the city with the foundation that he started and the charities. Darlington has one or two charities also.
I think so.
But, you know, Jonah, you know, the team, you know, was supporting Jonah, you know, as best as they could in that time period.
Mm-hmm.
But it just was time that, you know, club-wise, it was time to part ways with Jonah, you know.
Yeah.
But with Nagbe, I think Nagbe still has a little more in the tank.
Yeah, I think he does too.
And the one of the, you know, a lot of people say it's our defense that, you know, needs more developed, which is true.
Yeah.
But the midfield, that's where, if you look at how Nancy wants to control the game, it's in that middle.
Yeah.
The middle to back to middle, back, you know, he wants to control that middle. So you're talking about they want to have guys around there in that middle, you know, that one could be interchangeable. You see, you know, you've seen that with Sean, with Amundsen, you know, with, you know, so many, you know, some of these other players, you know, that can interchange between middle to back.
Yeah.
You know, so if you have somebody like Nagbe there in the middle that's able to help develop some of those guys, right? It's just huge. You know, because it opens up for guys like Matan, Max, Jason, you know, to get in there to where they could go middle to forward. You know what I'm saying? And you've seen that with Matan. You've seen a little bit with Farsi from wing to center, you know, to right back. Not so much, you know, this year.
Yeah.
But it's just you gravitate towards Nagbe. And when he has that ball sticks to the outside of his left foot like one of those racket balls as a kid that has the paddle with the Velcro on it. You know, that's how his foot is. And you see he's targeted more than anybody on the crew team when he has that ball. He's fouled harder.
Yeah.
Between him and Cucho, I think Nagbe gets fouled harder than anybody on our team.
Yeah. I believe it.
They try to take the heart out and take the voice of reason.
Yeah, I know. It's,
you know, so
well, I mean, hell, who was that? Was it Montreal? The last game of the season where Nagbe got fouled like a couple times in the midfield, it's just constantly. And then throughout the entire Atlanta series, it was Aiden Morris and Nagbe and Matan. Yeah,
because you see who the voice of reasoning is, right? So if Nagbe is playing more out, you bring Aiden more centrally, right? And Aiden has developed so well, you know, with Nagbe next to him.
Yeah.
You know, and you could see it translate over when Aiden is with the men's national team, right?
On that instance, right? It's so funny because I think it was when Aiden got his first call up, or the second one. I can't remember what it was, but Aiden said that when he was during the game, I can't remember what game it was. I can't remember, but I know he was with the national team. He was playing like he was with the Columbus Crew because of how he had, you know, settled into Nazi's system, and with the help of and with the help of Nagbe, he's like, you know, I caught myself doing, you know, stuff I would do here, and it's like, no, I can't do that and whatnot. The development of a young guy like Aiden Morris, who could probably be playing in Europe right now, from an MLS veteran like Darlington Nagbe, it just goes to show that Nagbe has a certain charisma about him that's infectious, right? In a positive way, of course. And how his character rubs off on other players, and it helps them get better. We see it with Morris. We've seen it. I can't remember who it was when he was in Portland. I can't remember who it was. I want to say we even saw a little bit when he was with Atlanta in 2018. So he's here. Like, this guy, he's above all MLS midfielders.
I mean, he's one of the best midfielders. You have to have him in the top 10 of all time. You have to.
Top 5, top 3 at that.
You know, I'm just saying no less than top 10.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But just look at the leadership of the team. I believe it, when Aiden first got called up this year, who was the first person that called him?
Oh, it was Darlington.
Yeah, woke him
sure.
up.
For sure.
Woke
Yeah.
him up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Woke him up. So, it's just one of those where the man is humble. You hear it every time we talk to him. He always is thinking of the team.
Yeah.
So, congrats, Darlington, for sticking around. And then when it is time for you to hang the boots up.
I honestly think, was he? He was not captain in 2020.
But he's already got a championship with the team.
Yeah, because I know we were discussing
We had qualifications for the Ring of Honor.
Ring of Honor.
But he's a captain now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So he's already got a championship, captain now. Right?
Yep.
He qualifies for the Ring of Honor, I think.
In order to be eligible as a player, an individual must have been retired as a player for at least 1 year, played at least 4 seasons with the crew. He's already done that. The exception requirement to previous injury may be reduced to 2 years for a player who is named MLS Best 11, wins an MLS Individual Award, or captains the crew to the MLS Cup title in that time. So he's not retired, but if he does retire as a Columbus Crew player, after 1 year, okay,
He's in.
he's already played 4 seasons with the crew for sure. Appeared in at least 50 or more league matches for the club. He's already done that. Win Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup, MLS Cup, Supporters Shield, or CONCACAF Champions League title. He's already won an MLS Cup. So
He's already qualified.
he's already qualified. He's already played 4 seasons. So that the exception of the previous entry knocks it off because he's already played 4 seasons with the crew.
Yeah.
If not, he's going to play even more because he has that contract extension.
2 more years plus a third for the option.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Yep.
But he's, they need to get on the ball and start put more into the Ring of Honor.
There's quite a bit of players that I think that are retired that should be in the Ring of Honor right now. The three were the first 3 options. Those are everybody's first 3 top options. Siggy Schmid, Frankie Haydick, Brian McBride.
Yeah, you have to go with those 3.
Yeah, you have to. Why? Brian McBride is
the number 1 pick.
Yeah, Brian McBride is the number 1 pick. I think that was no. He didn't win the MLS Cup, but he won a Open Cup.
Yep.
He also won a Supporter Shield.
Yep.
He played 4 seasons with the crew.
Yep.
He appeared in way more than 50 or more league matches, and he was definitely retired for more than 1 year. Yeah, because he retired. I think he retired with Chicago.
Yeah. He wanted to come back and retire, as with the black and gold, but at the time,
yeah. You have it sucks because he was the captain, but we didn't win the title. Federico Higuain.
I think they need to make an exception for him. For Higuain.
Mm-hmm.
I think the front office needs to make an exception. Because look what he did for, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing. You could get him on there. Columbus gets to, the cup this year. Hey, we need to sign you real quick. You're a free agent. Come out of retirement.
Yeah, right.
David Beckham won't let that happen.
Who else can we think of?
Jonah needs to be in there.
He's not retired though.
No, but
when he does retire, I do think Jonathan Mensah.
He could go because he's already got by the exception. He was the captain of the 2020 team.
But he must be retired as a player for 1 year.
But I thought that with the exception,
The exception of the previous entry, which is played at least 4 seasons.
Okay.
Requirement to previous entry may be reduced to 2 years for a player who was named MLS Best 11, wins an MLS individual award, or captains the crew to the MLS Cup title in that time. So
I mean, once he retires, definitely Jonah.
I'm trying to
Stern
think of
John.
Yeah.
Stern John.
Yeah. Because he won, I think it was Open Cup.
Open Cup, he was on there, the team with Brian Mazanoff.
Yep. Ohio State soccer head coach.
Men's soccer.
Yep. I think it was Open Cup, and I want to say it was also a Supporter Shield.
I think so too.
I think it was one of those.
But Stern John, though, so
Yeah.
many club records. Right? Cooch almost broke one.
Yeah, man. That's he he did.
Yeah.
Well, he almost tied it.
No, I think he did tie it.
Are you which one? What are you talking about?
Hat tricks in a season?
That's not what I'm talking about. I was referring to hat tricks in the postseason, or goals in a postseason. Stern John got 3 and got a hat trick in 1 match, and Cucho had 2. The first game in Atlanta, he would have tied Stern John for that.
Yeah, 1 game in the postseason. Yeah,
in 1 game. Golly, my lord. But I mean, there's a long list of players that I feel could be eligible for the Ring of Honor. I think the next one, I think the next one should be Mensah if and when he retires.
But I also think they need to make the exception for Higuain.
I do. If they do make an exception for Higuain, they need to make an exception for Kirk Urso.
Yes,
because that right, Kirk was embodied what it was to be a crew player, and though his time was cut short, oh man, he was such a great player though. My lord, he was such a great player. Then they need to make an exception for Kirk Urso.
What about Guillermo? Open Cup.
Was he on an Open Cup?
He was.
I would probably lean more for a Supporter Shield.
Okay.
Appeared in 50 more league matches. Yes. Played at least 4 seasons for the crew. Yes.
Didn't he also coach?
Not for the crew.
Okay.
He was a coach for the Galaxy for a while. It was so funny. Oh my God, it was so funny. We played the Galaxy one year, and it was at Historic Crew Stadium, and he was coaching, and the Nordeca just after the game was over, the Nordeca is like, yeah, because we wanted him to come over and acknowledge us.
And he wouldn't.
And he was in the locker room by then. So what happened was we're like, wait, the team bus is around the back. So some of us went out one way and walked to where the team bus was going to come out at. The team bus comes out. We're looking right at the bus. It's me, my mom, and a couple others. We're looking right at the bus. We look in the bus. Guillermo's sitting in the seat behind the driver, and we just start doing the bow. And he looks, he smiles, he waves, and gives a thumbs up, and then team bus drives off. We're like, yes, yes, Guillermo acknowledged us.
But he was humble too, man.
Yeah.
Him and Frankie were like that.
Yeah. That is it. You talk about dynamic duos of a team. Frankie Haydock and Guillermo Barrascolotto were the dynamic duo of, the early 2000s to mid 2010s of the crew.
And listen, they embodied the crew.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can even say Dante Washington.
Yeah. Yep.
I think there's just so many. But if you want to do a Ring of Honor, Jonah when he retires.
Yep.
And you gotta have Stern John. And you gotta make an exception for Urso and
Higuain.
Higuain.
And then when Nagbe retires, Nagbe.
Nagbe's automatic. Like
Nagbe should be
and I'm forgetting one more. Lucas. Lucas has played 4 years.
Yeah. Appeared in more 50.
He was almost 100
won,
games.
He won an MLS Cup. He's played for, yep. When he retires, after a year of retirement, yeah, Lucas.
I mean,
man, he scored for Armenia. Did you see that?
Yes, and then he put up the heart.
Yeah.
You know, I had that game on, and I saw it the 5th minute.
Did you?
I'm like,
yeah,
like we missed seeing that. But who knows what this offseason is going to bring now that we might get that 4th DP spot.
Yeah, man,
come on. Hey, Tim, Bez, if you're listening, if you watch our show, please bring back Lucas.
So we can also have Diego Rossi on our team.
It would be unfair.
Please make us a dynamic threat in MLS.
It would be like what Inter Miami's doing.
Yeah.
You take and put Rossi, Cucho, Ramirez, Lucas, and have guys like Nagbe, Moreira, Gressel, Amundsen, Camacho. And then you also have Yeboah.
With Nazi at the helm?
With Nazi?
I think we could be like the Man City.
Open Cup, Leagues Cup.
We could be the Man City of MLS.
CONCACAF champions.
We're winning it all. Take us to the FIFA Club World Cup, baby.
Get that man the Ballon d'Or.
give him the Ballon d'Or. Give him the Ballon d'Or. Give everybody a Ballon d'Or. We deserve it. We're the Columbus Crew. Nobody likes us. We don't care.
Tell me that lineup, though, would not be something that you would not want to go up against.
Yeah.
You're talking about a 4-headed Hydra with Lucas, Rossi, Cucho, and Ramirez? A 4-headed Hydra right there. You take out one, you still got to worry about 3 more.
I can see it with Ramirez and Cucho up top, Rossi and Lucas. I'm about to build that team on
Let
FC.
me know.
I'm going to build that team when I go home and play
if
FC.
you do, let me know how you got to play a whole season.
Oh yeah, for sure. I will definitely do that. I will definitely do that.
On to the next subject. This one is painful.
Yeah. So, for those who don't know, the Capybaras, tough loss in the MLS Next Pro Championship. They came out with their roster decisions.
Well, before we get to the roster decisions, I do want to say congratulations to MLS Next Pro because they have a new team starting up next season in the Carolina Core or Charlotte Core.
Chattanooga?
No. They have an independent team in North Carolina, I think it is. It's the Carolina Core start next season.
When does Chattanooga start?
25?
25?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then on top of that, there's a Jacksonville, I think.
Oh, Armada.
Yes.
They're next year, right?
They're next year. Chattanooga.
It's 25.
It's 25. So, I mean, it's just look at all these independent clubs that USL wasn't trying to pick up.
Yeah.
For whether USL 2 or Champions, they're not picking up.
Fucking bring back Rochester. Bring back Rochester. That was a good-ass team.
It was. I'm not going to lie because with all the star power that Crew 2 had, they came in here to historical Crew Stadium and 4-0.
And then what was the other one? Like
2-2?
Was it 2-2? Okay, yeah.
Or no, yeah. It was like 2-2, 1-1, something along that. But, the Cappies won it in PKs.
Yeah. And, that Rochester team was just solid.
And just the ownership.
Yeah.
Ownership sucked.
Man. Yeah, the ownership was terrible.
But yes, bring back Rochester.
Bring back the Rochester.
How much does it cost to bring back Rochester? We'll start a GoFundMe. But just congratulations to Next Pro.
They're expanding.
Huge.
Yeah.
You know, and then you're talking about, you know, San Diego SC coming in for MLS, right?
Yeah.
So that's
Is that
good.
2025?
25.
Who comes next year?
Nobody.
Nah, there's another team that comes in next
not
year.
for MLS.
Yes, there is. I thought there was. When does
No.
who?
San Diego is the newest one that starts in 25 or 26.
Wasn't there? Oh man, I hate the freaking
But
expansion shit. It's so weird.
because they're 29. They have not decided on 30 yet, which Don Garber said he doesn't want to get past 30 right now.
If he doesn't get past 30, okay, so does San Diego. Why was I thinking Sacramento? Because they were in the talks.
Yes.
It's them in Vegas that are vying for that
Yes.
last spot. That's what it is.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
But I
it's
think-
San Diego. San Diego comes in
Hey,
2025.
give me Indy 11.
No.
Get Indy 11.
No.
Why?
No. I want Vegas.
Well, we all know why you want Vegas.
I want Vegas.
We
Give
are-
me the Vegas Lights. The Las Vegas Lights. That's their team name. I swear to God. Las Vegas Lights.
Oh my God.
Hey, bro, you know how crazy it would be to
I
see
mean-
Nora on tour go out to Las Vegas? Oh my God.
You know how many-
I would join in after the game just to go party with the Nora on tour because I know for a fact nobody's going to go to bed. There's no clocks.
And you know how many people are going to need bail money or need lotion?
It's okay. Trust me. With the amount of people that could probably go out to Las Vegas for Nora on tour, we'll have bond money. We'll have bail money. It's fine. We'll have it all covered.
Leave your wives at home.
We'll have it all covered. It's A-okay. Golly.
Except for when Nora goes on tour, what happens in Vegas will come home from Vegas.
Look, man. Look, I just want to go watch the Sphere also.
Oh.
Dude, that Sphere is fucking dope.
Yes.
That Sphere is fucking dope. I love it.
But, you know, congratulations to Next Pro on the rapid growth. You know, I did get, you know, we did get to speak with the Next Pro commissioner
Yeah.
prior to the start of the championship game. And, you know, I asked him the question about merchandise. You know, we've seen it all on Twitter, especially with Crew.
Yeah.
You know, we want a capybara kit. You know, and
Oh, dude, how fucking awesome would that be? Yellow kit with just a capybara with a hard hat with the number 2 on it, just facing forward.
I mean, Supporter
that
Shield.
would be
Supporter
fucking-
Shield already got that.
Sport Supply.
Yeah, Supporter Supply.
Yeah.
Yeah. They already got that, but
Yeah, I know.
to be licensed
Yeah, to be
by
dude, that would be-
MLS and to have the actual, you know, the Crew 2 kit
yeah.
and have a cappy on it, man. I mean, but, you know, to have merchandise being sold for Next Pro, it is coming in the wings. Ladies and gentlemen, it is. He's, you know, the commissioner just didn't come out and say when,
But
it is something that they're
it
looking
is-
at for next season.
Yeah.
And they're also huge on the rule development, right?
I wanted to ask if they were considering running a test with VAR.
That slipped all of our minds because
You know what? I was going to ask it, but then stuff was happening on the field. I think it was I think they
were
were
coming
starting to
out,
come out,
yeah.
and I'm like, all right, yeah, gotta go.
yeah, but no. So shout outs to, you know, MLS Next Pro, right?
Yeah.
But it was a sad day here in Columbus, Ohio for the Capybaras as they did make their end of season roster cuts, and this one hurts.
The entire team's pretty much gone. The entire team is pretty
I
much
mean,
just gone.
they've said it over and over again that this is not a place that you know, long term.
Yeah.
The
The goal is to make the jump.
And
Do you see any of those cuts making a jump to first team?
yes,
Who?
Marco,
That's my first. That's my first.
Jacob,
Okay.
Erlison.
We need center backs. So.
I mean, just the way that he played. He came back from splitting his head open in the first game of the season.
Yeah.
You know, he was out for a couple months, but came back where he wore the whole mask the rest of the season. Like, you know, but he was everywhere. And he showed grit. And he showed, you know what I'm saying? So, Clay Holstead. I mean, we drafted him, right? We sent him down to Crew 2. And he really showed out when Stas Lofkis picked up the Doxo red card against the Philadelphia Union 2.
Yeah. And he had to go in that.
And he went, I mean, he's tall, right?
Yeah.
But, man, he kept the team in it as long as he could. And, I mean,
Noah?
Noah has to fight for it
Really?
because of everybody else that we have up there already in his position.
Yeah, for sure. I see that, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And, I mean, if it comes out to it, I mean, he's a forward, him and Jason.
What about a loan option? What about getting signed to the first team and going out on loan at, say, FC Tulsa, Orange County?
I could go for that.
You know,
I could go for a loan. I could go for a loan. I don't think Abdi would come up as much as I would love for him. I could see a loan for him.
Yeah.
Sign a first team contract, loan you out to, you know, where Jake Morris just got loaned to. Loudon.
He was in training the other day.
Oh, he was?
Yeah, him and Keegan are back. Him and Keegan have been back.
Fantastic.
So, because Keegan was with Orange County.
Yeah.
What did Eunice tell me? Keegan's back. He was in training Friday.
Okay.
And Jake was back. I saw Jake when I was walking in to OHPC. So they're back. Because their loan teams got either didn't make playoffs or got eliminated. I think it was Loudon got eliminated and Orange County didn't make it, or vice versa. I can't remember what Eunice told me.
But I mean, I could see something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I could see signing a first team, right? Go and play in UPSL.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No, not UPSL. Not UPSL. That's such a downgrade. I'd go USL Championship.
USL Championship?
Yeah. I'd go USL Championship. Because UPSL, they're not on contracts.
I mean, but he's already with the contract with.
Right, but I don't. UPSL, no. USL Championship, yeah, for sure.
Loan him out to Indy 11.
Are they championship or what? No? They're championship.
Yeah, Pittsburgh Riverhounds.
Yeah.
Loan them out. You know what I'm saying? Where they're gonna develop. But I think Noah and Abdi would be good for the sign and loan.
Yeah.
You know, it almost sounds like a used car lot.
Yeah, I know, right?
Sign and trade.
Golly.
But no. Xavier Zenge. I know they're working on the contract with him for Crew 2.
Yeah.
And I think he deserves it because of his hard work. And then he was out for half the season. So he didn't get a chance to, you know what I'm saying, get a chance to fully develop, you know, last year. Because he was out he got hurt in, I forget which game, but he tore his meniscus. So he was out.
Yeah.
And I know what those torn meniscus feels like. So I know the rehab.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the embargo copy that was sent to me.
Man.
Thomas Roberts, Coleman Gannon, and Patrick Bowie.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, clubs in continued negotiations with those 4.
So Patrick Bowie, Xavier Zenge, and Coleman Gannon, they should keep.
You don't think they should keep Thomas Roberts?
I think he might be a sign and loan
For the first team?
for the second team.
Okay.
I mean, honestly, keep all 4 of them because Thomas Roberts came out and had some great moments.
Yeah.
And created some sparks, right? But Coleman, you got to keep Coleman Gannon. Coleman Gannon is almost like the Matan of Crew 2 because he's everywhere.
Yeah.
He's everywhere, and he will hit a shot that he's got a cannon. You hear me joke around Coleman Gannon with the cannon. Because he'll turn at a dime, and it's always top corner, left or right, whichever way he's the one that sent us to the first ever MLS Next Pro Cup.
Coleman?
Yes.
Yep. Against Toronto.
Man, that was one hell of a night.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I don't even remember what time I got.
I don't remember either. All I know is that, golly, all I remember is we scored, game's about to be over, and Toronto scores like last minute on a free kick to tie it up. And we're just like, shit. And then early on, they hit, because Patrick is so far in the midfield, they hit a freaking
half-court shot.
Yeah, to take the lead. And then we score in the second half of extra time.
Right as time was getting ready to.
And then we score again. Not long after that. And it was Coleman Gannon. I remember that. It was just me and you in the press box. And we're sitting there trying to hold our excitement. We're like.
And then there goes the corner flag. So corner flags beware.
Yeah.
No, but I think those 4 that they should re-sign to help develop some of the younger academy talent that's coming up. And then, see how well they do next year. And then, fly butterfly.
Yeah.
But it's a sad day here that, the captain, the crew legend, Crew 2 legend.
The first captain in Crew 2 history.
Yes, first captain in Crew 2 history. Just an amazing guy, Marco Micheletto. Wish you nothing but the best, Marco. Jeez.
Everybody, for that matter.
Yeah, everybody, but more or less for Marco because he really embodied the spirit of Crew 2.
Mm-hmm.
Just by listening to some, going back and listening to some of the interviews with him from the first year and then also at the championship game, how he talked about, when he first, got signed and he's driving up 71 past historical Crew Stadium, looks over, he's like,
I'm going to be playing
here.
There.
He's like, fuck off. Literally on, camera.
Yeah.
But
was that after the
cup win?
Yeah, I remember you showed me the interview.
And the fact that, he was named Cup MVP and he thought that, they called the wrong name. He actually pulled Noah up to the front, to get, it looked like he pulled Patrick and they're like, no, Marco, here, it's your award. So I mean, Marco and Noah both, they will go down in Crew 2 history as 2 of the best players to come through.
Yeah. Last but not least, before we take a quick break, the Crew released released early ticket sales for the 2024 Why are you knocking shit down?
Because what you're about to say.
Released pricing for the 2024 match against Inter Miami. And boy, is it a doozy. However, somebody did bring up a good point. Can fans be mad at the club for doing what every other club has already done?
No.
For those who don't know, Nordega tickets are starting at $421 a piece for that match.
I say no, but a little bit of yes.
Why?
I say yes because you want to be competitive and and bring people to the stadium. I mean, the name Messi's got to draw people regardless. Look what it did for Chicago, and Messi didn't even play. 80,000, fans or 79,000 showed up for that game
just to see Miami lose.
Yeah, and they were in there having fun, watching Chicago just having fun.
Run all over Miami, yeah.
So I mean, I could say yes, being mad at the club because you want to set yourself apart from other clubs, right? So why not set yourself apart and say, okay, well, everybody else is charging, a left arm and a nut. I mean, look, you go ahead and donate one, you're getting 15 grand. So, I mean, I've already looked into it. Okay, times are hard. They're charging these outrageous prices and not knowing if he's going to play, right? So now you're spending. See, if you buy full season, well, you can't even buy full season anymore in the Nordecca. So if you buy a full season somewhere else in the stadium, right? And normally it costs you $1,600, but next year it costs you $2,600, right? Now you're like, okay, well now I don't even know if I get to see him. So it's just like, why raise it that high when you could say, okay, well, if normal season tickets are, $1,400, let's raise it to $1,800.
Yeah.
Just by $400. But you're raising all the prices because now you're talking about, okay, you have Nordecca tickets start at $421. Now you're talking about when it gets time for, when they have to raise the prices on everything else around in the stadium, now you have to raise your ticket prices. So you're adding that $421 on top of additional, raises on everything else. So yes, you can be mad, but I'm not mad at the club because everybody else is doing it.
Yeah.
And they want a league of unity. Well, I mean, if every team is doing this, then I mean, that's uniform, right? But, we're Columbus. We need to be different.
Yeah. I mean, Miami was the first one to do it, obviously. They raised ticket prices for the rest of the season. And then whenever Miami is going somewhere, of course, teams raise their prices, St. Louis being one of them, Nashville for Leagues Cup.
Mm-hmm.
Cincinnati, Houston for Open Cup. It's the demand that comes with the player. Because the player is he's high in caliber and everything like that. It's the demand that comes with the player because it's the player.
Yeah, I mean, it's Messi, right?
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure the same thing would happen if Ronaldo was in MLS. Erling Haaland was in MLS. Kylian Mbappe in MLS.
Hey, but we all know that Ronaldo won't step foot in.
No, not at all. Still a great player though.
I can't take that away from him, but
yeah. It's the same thing as if another star player were to be in MLS. So
give me Haaland.
I don't think teams can be. I mean, I don't think fans should be irate about it. Is it a little premature? Sure, because this season's not even over yet.
They're just trying to get that game sold out.
Yeah.
Before Miami fans come in here and turn it into a home match.
It's not going to be Miami fans. Here's what it is, and I broke it down. 80% of the capacity of people who are going to be at that game are going to be a mixture. Miami, Argentina, Barcelona are going to be maybe some PSG, but I doubt PSG because Argentina will be friends in the World Cup. But you're going to have Miami, you're going to have Argentina, you're going to have Barcelona fans.
Mm-hmm.
The next 10% is going to be execs, stars, that want to, come to Miami, come to Columbus to see Messi play, right? The next 5% is going to be season ticket holders for the Columbus Crew. The next 5% are going to be people who buy tickets day of game.
Yeah.
So that's how it's going to be. You're going to see a lot of Argentina. You're going to see a lot of Barcelona. You're going to see a lot of Miami kids. Right? And they won't even be from Miami. That's the thing.
Yeah.
They won't even be from Miami.
From here.
Yeah. Then they're not even going to be from Miami. They're going to be from New York. They're going to be from, Virginia. They're going to be from Kentucky.
The state up north.
They're going to be from Michigan. Yes, I meant that. But they're going to be from all over the place, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then it's going to go down the line. The only small percentage is going to be season ticket holders and people who buy tickets the day of the game as crew fans. Because everything else is going to be executives. You're going to have even Columbus, like city council, the mayor, the governor, probably at this game.
That's going to be weird seeing Governor DeWine at a crew game.
The Haslams are going to be there.
Well, we know that. They got their own personal suite.
Yeah, they're going to be there. That's just how it's going to be, but it's the reality of the fact that a in-demand player like Leo Messi, who just him alone boosted, ticket prices, Apple TV subscriptions, the MLS season pass, tickets, or not, I already said tickets.
Merchandise.
It's then
podcast.
Yeah, but then that's also going to, I feel like, feed back into the clubs.
It is, but
everybody is so blindsided by these ticket prices. But hey, okay, yeah, I get you're mad, but that's what comes with being one of the greatest players on the planet.
Yep, and you have to. I mean, it's like you have to. You don't have to accept it, but you have to accept it because it's reality.
Yeah,
you can't break reality.
Yeah. When Lucas Zelleron came from Tigres fans became Columbus Crew fans. I mean, granted, you can't really compare Lucas and Messi, but the fact is that Lucas was one of the top players in Liga MX who came to MLS, specifically Columbus. Columbus fans grew.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
You have fans that are Lucas fans. You also have fans that were Crew fans that were also Tigres fans. You have fans that were Tigres fans that are now Columbus Crew fans.
Mm-hmm.
It's that right there that is, I think that's probably the best similarity I can give.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. But that's just me. Sorry for the rant, guys.
No, I mean, we both feel the same way.
Yeah.
So, I mean.
Coming up here on the Wisemen Say podcast, sat down with Orlando Lions Den Mike. I can't remember his last name to save my life. I apologize, Mike. If you see this, I wholeheartedly apologize. Sat down with Mike from Orlando Lions Den. Me and him had to talk about the keys to the victory for the game on Saturday. And just, what each team needs to do to break down the other team and all that fun stuff. All that here coming up next on I Have Something in My Eye.
On Yamo Media.
On the Wiseman Say podcast, powered by Yamo Media. We're back after this. Hey. Welcome back, everybody, to the Wisemen Say podcast, powered by Yamo Media. Ty Fisher alongside Jerald Lucas. Jerald could not be with me today, so we have Mike from Orlando Lions Den. Judging by social media, very popular podcast down there in Orlando, huh?
Yeah, man, we've been doing pretty well this year. One of the things that we started doing is we started doing Twitter Spaces after games, and that's been a really positive thing. Lets people let out a lot of frustration when things were tight earlier this year, and then it's been pretty positive since then. Because it pretty much since we got bounced from the Open Cup and bounced from the Leagues Cup, really since we tied you guys 2-2 at Lower.com Field, our season's been on an upward trajectory since that point. So.
You had to bring that up, and then obviously the 4-3 win you guys had over us not too long ago. So those are two mental collapses by the black and gold to give away 2 points. But it's going to be an interesting one. Orlando Columbus meeting in the conference semifinals. Mike, just go through the route. How did you guys get to where you are today in the conference semis?
So I mean, I'm it's interesting because we had a lot of people like chiming in with our podcast online on Twitter saying that they really didn't want to play Nashville. And I don't understand why anyone said that, because Nashville has been like having so much difficulty scoring goals in general. And I was like, all right, this is going to be simple. They can't score goals if you can stop Hani Mukhtar. It's simple as that. And we did that. So it was one of those situations where I felt like we were in a pretty good spot. We were primed to go ahead and advance as long as we were able to shut Hani down, because Surge has proved that he really hasn't been able to be a factor. And it's just been stout defense. We out Gary Smith with Nashville and won both games 1-0. But even though they were 1-0, neither game really felt like it was terribly close. You know, it was one of those things where it felt like we kind of commanded the pace of the game, dictated the way things were going to go, and we played it on our terms, which was all we could have really asked for.
You said your terms. What are your terms? What does Orlando do to kind of dictate a game?
So we're kind of a chameleon in a sense. Is we're able to go ahead and control the ball if we want to. If we're on the road and we want you to go ahead and bring it to us, and we'll hit you on the counter. We can do that too. We used to always harp on Oscar Pareja loves to play for a Poppy special, which is a 1-0 win. Poppy special is a 1-0 win where literally you probably get maybe 1 or 2 chances to attack, and that's it. And you just got to capitalize on one of them. But those 2 1-0 games that we just had against Nashville, we had 7-8 attempts on goal in each game. So realistically, it didn't really feel like it was a Poppy special. It felt like we were still just in full control of the game. So realistically, when it comes to playing on our terms, is really just stout defense. You know, we've been a very strong defensive team this year, and we've been very clinical with our finishing. I feel like we haven't been as clinical in the playoffs, but because of the fact that we played a team that hasn't been able to score, I think that's something that it gives us time that we still know that we're going to be able to progress that way, because we got some guys on our team that like to score goals. So.
Yeah, we were talking off air. You said you're going to correct me. 2 mental collapses by Columbus to give away a win in the last matchup that we had in Orlando, and then obviously the 2-2 draw earlier in the season here at Lower.com. Just what were you guys able to do to kind of knock Columbus off of their rocker? Obviously, Columbus ended the season the highest scoring team in the league with 67 goals. Just what were you guys able to do to kind of knock us off our rocker? And especially this last matchup with facing Diego Grassi for the first time this season.
So one of the things that I want to say first off is I have the utmost respect for Wilfred Nancy, and I felt like when you guys got Nancy, I was scared because you guys I felt already had a good team, and he's a hell of a coach. The fact that Montreal, whatever's going on with Montreal, and they decided to let him go, dumbest thing I think that they could have done for their team, and it's showing by the fact that they also fired another coach this year. With that being said, dude likes to play with fire. And that's very clear in the fact that you guys realistically only field 1 true center back. And that's something that we're really, as a team attacking, that's what we like to try and exploit, is the fact that you guys might have guys who are a little bit quicker on the back line, but at the same time, you guys might have guys who are not necessarily as sound defensively. Steven Moreira has been a great defender. Rudy Camacho, a big friend of our show. We've talked about him plenty of times because he's had some mistakes against Orlando in the past that we've absolutely loved. Not necessarily while he was with you guys, but we've poked fun at him before. But realistically, what it comes down to for you guys is just making sure that we capitalize on the opportunities that you give us. Because yes, you guys are one of the highest scoring teams in the league, but you guys give up goals too. And that's the playing with fire that I mentioned under Nancy, and the fact that you guys really are only playing one true center back in Camacho. So it's just really about exploiting those opportunities. Because if you look at the 2 games that we played against you guys this season, we really didn't field our best lineup in either game. In the 4-3 win, Duncan McGuire was out injured, who's one of our leading scorers. Wilder Cartagena was suspended, who's really the guy that kind of transformed our season. And if you looked at the game at lower.com field, that was 2-2. Urchin Kara was still starting for us. He's not here anymore. We had Angulo playing fullback, which was a short-lived experiment. But realistically, we've been playing a lot of we've after that 2-2 tie at lower.com field, we really found what our style was going to rely on. And that was the double pivot in the midfield between Cesar Araujo and Wilder Cartagena. Those 2 guys are both stud 6s. That's the only way that I can describe it. They're both really, really stout defensively. They don't like to give up a lot of opportunities. And they're just very, very good at being in the proper positions. And now they're also getting really good at getting forward too and getting involved in the attack. So it's going to be important that they both play good games for us to stop your attack, because I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. Cucho, Rossi, like Matan's been great for you guys too. Like you guys have a powerful attack. Like I was kind of suspicious of letting Zelarayan go in the middle of the year, but it's clearly still worked for you guys. So like there was a plan in place, and I'm sure you guys were suspicious when that happened too. Like,
Oh yeah, for sure. The funny thing was I heard about it the day of the Club America game in the Leagues Cup.
oh yeah.
I heard rumblings, and I'm like, I was texting a source of mine, and he's like, yeah, no, he's not going anywhere. And then the day of the Leagues Cup game, I see the crew put out like, thank you, Lucas, and like I'm like, oh my god, he's leaving.
Mhm.
It was, and then the goodbye. I'm not gonna lie, I teared up. I was in the press box.
Yeah.
I was crying because Lucas had made such an impact from day one when he came to Columbus from
Mhm.
Tigres, scoring his first MLS goal in game 1 in 2020 to helping us lift MLS Cup later that year. Is just the
Yeah.
impact that he's made on the community, the team, the fans, and everything like that. He was one of the greatest players. And then it was just like, well, all right. But then when we heard Rossi, we're like, okay, that's a plus because he did so good with LAFC when he was there before he made the move to, I think it was Turkey
Yeah.
from
Was that a
LAFC. Yeah, I think it was
Fenerbahce? Yeah.
yeah, that's it. Looking at the season stats, Columbus lead in almost every category, but that's not to a lack of trying for you guys because you guys kind of feed off of, I think you touched on earlier, feed off of mistakes from other
Yeah.
teams. Um, 50% possession, 12.3 shots, 4.3 shots on goal, total passes 426.4. What works for you guys off of these mistakes?
Just being clinical. One of the things that you kind of got to look at with us is we will play a bit of a high press, and players like Angulo will absolutely destroy you with that because he's got to be one of the top 10 fastest dudes in the league. Like, I don't know how to describe it. The guy he's quick as all hell. And Duncan McGuire, also deceptively fast for his size. I'm wearing my bootleg MLS Duncan shirt right now. But he is like, if you look at his shooting stats, it's honestly mind blowing. Dude gets like probably 70% of his shots are on target. And he's also like he's one of those ones that like gives you a little bit of a worry if you're an advanced stats nerd because of the fact that he's overproducing his expected goals by a pretty wide margin. But at the same time, every time I'm watching this guy, whether it be in training, whether it be in game, whether it be in friendlies, we went to a preseason friendly and this guy literally just bagged 3 goals like it was nothing. And we're just like sitting here. I'm like, this guy's a dude. Like we were just immediately on the Duncan hype train, like in February. And then obviously once he started getting in games and actually producing, we were like, see, we told everybody, like we knew. But he is an unreal finisher when it comes to just how clinical he is. Um, and same with Facu Torres. Obviously, if you keep him, if you give him time on his left foot, he will hurt you there. You guys, if you want to try and get him out of the game, you have to force him onto his right foot because his right foot is definitely less dominant. That's for sure. But it's really just about clinical finishing. We get the opportunity to go ahead and finish, get ourselves into a good spot. It's going to hit the back of the net. That's the way that we pride it. And then obviously, like I said, we have a strong defense, got a strong goalkeeper, Pedro Gallese, El Pupo is fantastic. And then obviously Robin Janssen, we all kind of feel was robbed in the Defender of the Year category because we don't think that we're where we're at without him. We got two really good dynamic fullbacks in Rafael Santos and Dagger Danther Halson, which that was a cool revelation mid-season to see him come from being like a central midfielder to moving him to right back because he really offers a lot going forward and he's really kind of blossomed as a defender too. And then the legend of Rodrigo Schlegel, the other center back, he filled in for Antonio Carlos mid-season. And Antonio Carlos is healthy now, but Schlegel's been so good that you can't change the lineup. It's just been impressive.
I think the one thing I will always remember Rodrigo Schlegel for is going in, I think it was 2020 for Pedro after he got that red card and the penalty shootout and
Trust me,
winning
man.
it for
We still have like war flashbacks anytime we see a referee announcement and we see that Alan Chapman's calling a game for us. Like just from that game, I was in the stadium when that happened, and we thought that the game was over 4 different times.
Yeah.
Like because rewatching it in real time, like the mess up of the red card and then us trying to sub in Brian Rowe and then being told Brian Rowe could sub in and then being told Brian Rowe couldn't sub in and then Brian Rowe still being on the field and then them saying, no, he can't do it. Getting Schlegel on. Schlegel makes that one save. They thought the game was over, but the game wasn't over. We still had to make the next kick to win.
Yeah.
And then there was a pause between all that stuff. Dude, it was pandemonium. And it was also like because of COVID times, it was like a half full stadium with people spread out all over the place. So it was just, dude, it was weird, man. It was a mess.
I think crew fans can vouch for any time that we see referee assignments and we try and not see Sergio Boyko on our games because of our match against NYCFC earlier in the year. That was absolute mayhem.
Oh Lord.
If you don't know about that game, Nazi got a red card. One of our assistant coaches got a red card. Cucho got a red card. It was just absolutely. Oh my god!
I'll go find the highlights on that one to double check it because to be fair, like you guys are an entertaining team. I'm not gonna discount that. I'm not gonna lie about it. I could talk crap if I want to, but like I'm not gonna lie. You guys are a damn good team, and this is gonna be a fun matchup.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things that like MLS scheduling's made things a little bit difficult. Like I haven't been able to watch as many of your guys' games as I would like to, being as entertaining as your team is, because everything's scheduled at the same time. So
yeah, if whenever you get the chance, if you have Apple TV, go back and just watch the highlights of it. I'm sure enough they're probably there, or the instant replay, or inside VAR for pro. It's mental. Keys to victory for Orlando. What do you guys? I know you talked about us playing a true center back.
Yeah.
What else has to be the key to victory for you guys to get to the conference final?
That's maintaining Cucho. That's really what it is. You have to put Cucho in a box and keep him away, similar to what we were able to do with Hani. If you can keep Cucho out of the game, it's going to definitely hamper your attack. And that's not saying that like Rossi, Matan, Nagbe, like those guys can't do anything because they absolutely can. But if you can cut out the guy who's creating the majority of your chances and taking tons of shots, that's going to be our best path to victory. And that's why I think having a guy like Schlegel in there, he's a little bit better at taking care of those smaller, shiftier forwards than Antonio Carlos is. So I think that's something that's going to benefit us a little bit is keeping riding with Schlegel, as he's really good with that. And he's also kind of an asshole in the way that he is. He likes to muck up the game a little bit, get in people's heads. He talks crap incessantly. So that's always fun and entertaining, but it's really going to be keeping Cucho off the score sheet. I think is going to be something that's going to help us. And obviously, it'd be lame to say just keep you guys from scoring, but obviously that goes pretty much without saying is we need to keep you guys from getting into the back of the net. And got to hope that you guys playing on the road is something that's going to help us there, just because of the fact that you guys been a good road team, but obviously road is usually not where anyone prefers to play, and you are going to struggle more in that environment. So yeah, it's just taking advantage of having you guys out of your comfort zone.
I think I talked to Aiden Morris about that yesterday during media availability, and some other of the media members. Crew have 13 days in between, or had 13 days between Game 3 against Atlanta and conference semis. Not to mention that they had, I think, 3 or 4 days off from Sunday, and then a travel day on next Friday. So that kind of limits it down to about, I think it was 6.5 days of practice to prep for this game. Not to mention humidity. Orlando Explorer Stadium. I've been down to Explorer Stadium, beautiful stadium. It's a very hostile environment with the
Yeah.
wall. And just in general, it's kind of how can a team have 6.5 days of practice to train for that when you have the international break happening right now, and whatnot. So it's going to be interesting. I personally uh, would love Columbus to win, but if you guys win, I hope that you get by Cincinnati. That's
I
all I
mean,
want.
hey, looking at the way that Cincinnati's going right now, if you look at Matt Miazga likely staring at a suspension for being Matt Miazga, and then you look at Bupenza having issues with like time and clocks, apparently. Like the guy can't be on time for stuff. Gabon's having issues
Yeah.
with him since he's
Yep.
having issues with him. Nwabodo isn't been healthy, and we also beat them in TQL earlier this season.
That's also, yeah, I was going to bring that up too.
So it's one of those things. Like, I don't want to count chickens before they hatch. Obviously, I try not to do that. Like,
Yeah.
there's one stat that I like to not mention specifically because of the fact that I feel like if it's something I say out loud, I'm going to jinx it, and then I'm going to have to take the blame.
Yeah, for
Like,
sure.
but there's a certain situation that Orlando has been perfect in, and I
Okay.
worry that if I bring that up, that it's going to change that.
All right.
So
Yeah.
I'll talk to you off air about it.
Yeah, for sure. Um, any final like analysis for Columbus and what we have to do to try and get past you guys?
Really, it's just a matter. It's breaking down, getting past our sixes. If you can beat Araujo and you can beat Wilder Cartagena, you can beat us. The issue is there's not tape to find that. We've lost 3 games since May. Like, saying that number out loud sounds ridiculous. That we've lost 3 total games outside of Leagues Cup and the Open Cup since May. Teams haven't really been able to find ways to beat us. We're either getting draws or we're getting draws or we're winning. And those games that we're losing have been games that have usually been like with travel, midweek, like stuff like that. So situations that we're not finding in the playoffs anymore. Obviously, time off is going to be a little bit of a pain in the ass, for lack of a better term, because you guys said obviously you had X amount of days off. We only had a 2-game series against Nashville, so we had even longer off. And then we also did have a couple players on international duty. So Pedro Gallese, Wilder Cartagena, Facundo Torres, they're all gone. Those are at least the big hitters. Wilder and Facu didn't play in their first game of break. And Duncan McGuire didn't go with the U23s this time. So that's something that obviously I feel like kind of helps us a little bit too. Because was a little bit worried about him going just because he has had some injury history, but he's been pretty good lately. Just don't want to see anything like that get risked, So, but realistically, it's getting past those 2 sixes. You could do that. That's something that's going to help you be able to score. It's just, it's one of those things that feels like it's easier said than done.
Really quick before we wrap up, do you think teams perform better when they have a shorter amount of days off like Columbus, or when they have a longer amount of days off like you guys after a series?
Dude, I don't know. I mean, if you ever want to talk about the playoff structure this year and go for a long time, I'd be more than happy to do that because I'm iffy on everything. Like the 3-game series, I didn't mind it. It actually ended up being more entertaining than I expected to, which is good. It's just the way that they did everything and the way that it turned into now, okay, we had this 3-game series. Now we got 2 weeks off for an international break, and now we got to run through everything else really quick after that. It's going to be 3 weeks successive before another international break comes. It just feels like, man, this was rushed a lot more than it needed to be. So I got to say, like, it's going to go well. But dude, it's having 2 weeks or more off at this point just feels like it's going to suck for every team, and we're all going to look a little bit rusty coming up for the semifinal.
Yeah, for sure. So one thing that we like to do here on the show is a little game called yellow card, red card.
Okay.
So a yellow card, it doesn't even have to be soccer related. It can be anything from like one of mine would be EAFC not giving me a win when my opponent quit on me or something like
Yeah.
that. Or, Chipotle messing up your order, something like that. So a yellow card is something that you don't like, but you'll tolerate it. And a red card is something you absolutely despise. You hate it with a passion. Okay. So what would be your yellow and red card?
So uh my red card, so you're saying like it doesn't have to be like soccer related
No,
necessarily?
no, not at
Okay.
all.
So my yellow card, uh it would have to be people talking during movies. Like, I can get by with it. Man, it's annoying. I might be a person like complain about it on Facebook or Twitter or something like that. But like, I also know that I like superhero movies and stuff like that. And sometimes you'll have people that'll get hyped about random things. So like, I can get through it. But as a person who like went to school for film, it definitely annoys me sometimes. But I can get by it. Red card. And this is just because it's funny because I live in the land of theme parks. Dude, I hate roller coasters. Like, I'm
Yeah.
scared of heights. Like, I have a big fear of heights and falling. So stuff like that, I do not do. We actually just had our play-by-play announcer, Evan Weston, was just on our podcast this past week, and he complained about the playoff format and also talked about how he's a roller coaster enthusiast because we took fan questions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And he's going to miss calling this game because the way that the league changed the schedule. Him and his wife had a vacation booked to Tokyo for about a year.
Oh my
Um,
lord.
and he's not, because of the fact that this is when MLS Cup was last year.
Yeah.
Right around now, he's like, all right, we'll be fine, not an issue. And then they made the playoffs so much longer than they were last year.
Yeah.
So I feel bad
That
for that, but yeah, he's huge roller coaster nut. Like, he's on the verge of hitting like 400 different roller coasters ridden, and I'm sitting here like, bro, like,
oh
I
my
can't
god.
even do that. I see roller coasters and I get anxious. Like,
Oh wow. I can't do roller coasters. I'll do like normal ones, but the ones that go I think it's at Cedar Point here in Ohio, Top Thrill Dragster or
mhm.
something like that, or just anyone that goes upside down. Nah,
Yeah,
I'm not doing that.
nah. There's one at Universal that I don't mind doing, and that's the Hagrid's Motorbike Adventure, just because it doesn't really flip upside down or anything like that. It just goes fast,
Yeah.
and also it's like a dumb thing in my brain, that you're like driving a motorcycle when you ride it. So I'm like, oh, I have the handlebars. I'm in control when you're not. Like, it's just a fact.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Quick prediction from you.
Um, it's going to be a tight game, but I'm going to go Orlando 2-1, just because I do believe that our team defensively will be able to keep you guys tight. And it's going to be one of those things that, if we can keep you guys, like I said, keep Cucho off the score sheet, I think we can go ahead and take care of business. And I think that our team is situated to be able to do that. So I think you guys are going to be a great opponent, though. It's going to be a really fun game. And I know that the wall is sold out, I'm pretty sure already.
Mhm.
And most of the stadium is sold out. So it's going to be, I'm pretty sure by the time this releases, we're going to be much closer to a sellout.
Yeah.
Um, and it's going to be a real fun environment. I'm going to be down there by the players tunnel this time around. So
Oh, nice. Heck yeah. Mike, where can people find you on social media?
So yeah, Mike Spillane at Mike Spillane. That's Spillane on Twitter, and at Orlando Lions Den on Twitter as well. If you guys, ever decided you wanted to jump ship or follow us during the rest of the playoffs to see us take down Cincinnati, we'll be there. And the only other dig that I was going to end up throwing in there, and I'm just going to toss it now because we're finishing up here, is that you guys haven't won in Orlando since 2017.
Wow, thanks, Mike.
So that's just another thing just to keep a lookout to see what happens. That wasn't the one thing that I was hinting at earlier, but that's
Yeah,
something
no.
that one of the other guys from the I mentioned I was going to be on the show with you guys here. And I was like, is there anything you guys want me to drop stat wise? And he's like, they haven't beat us since 2017. I was like, all right, fair. So shout out to Alex Ryder for that one. He
That's
mentioned
fair.
that one. I didn't look it up.
All right. Coming up here on the show, me and Jerald have a more deeper preview of the conference semifinals against Orlando. Mike, thank you so much for joining me. We will be right back in a few minutes. This is the Wiseman Said podcast powered by Yamo Media. Welcome back to the Wiseman Say podcast powered by Yamo Media. Ty Fisher alongside Jerald Lucas. And my friend, some new stuff came out on MLSsoccer.com. A tactical breakdown of both conference semis, East and West, but we'll just focus on the East because we're in the East. So Orlando, by the way, this article was written by Joseph Lowry, published yesterday morning. Published yesterday morning. So it's relatively new. Okay. So Lowry writes, Orlando's approach. Their attacking shape is a 4-2-3-1. They defend in a 4-4-2. They play out of a fluid 4-2-3-1 shape in possession and defend in a 4-4-2 mid-block, but exactly how much time they spend in one phase or the other may depend on the opponent. The Lions hovered right around 50% possession in the regular season, and they gave Columbus the edge in that category during both of their prior meetings, which we saw.
Yeah.
Orlando have an elite ball power progressor at center back in Robin Janssen, an elite ball winner in midfield in Cesar Arujo, and a nice mix of attacking talent higher upfield. That cast of characters has helped them be malleable. I think that's the word. I don't know. So looking at their attacking shape in a 4-2-3-1, that could be kind of a problem for the Crew back line, depending on who plays on that back line, I should say, which I think I know who's going to play on that back line. It's going to be the same as it always been. But the defensive shape, on the other hand, is where it could get tricky for us.
Yeah, we haven't had too much success against a 4-4-2.
Yeah, no. And as Mike alluded to in the interview just now, we kind of had a mental collapse in both meetings. You know? We're up 2-0 and we end up tying 2-2. We take the lead. We're winning 3-1 and we lose 4-3. So, yeah.
I blame the Heat.
Yeah.
In that 4-3 loss.
Blame the weather. That's going to be hard. However, I think with Columbus's power, I mean, obviously we're able to get around it. We scored 3 goals against them in the previous meeting, right?
I think it was we parked it too soon in the second one.
Yes, way too soon. I think I saw Rossi running to the corner in like the 70-something minute, trying to kill the game off or something like that. I can't remember who it was.
Like, listen, go ahead, put 6 on them. You know, keep that gas pedal going till the 85th.
Yeah.
You know, even if you're up again 3-1, going into the 85th minute, park it then. Just don't get careless.
Yeah, which I think is what we also got in that previous.
We got
matchup.
frustrated.
Yeah.
We got frustrated because there was things that were not executed correctly that, you know, got everybody frustrated and off of their mental.
Mm-hmm.
And Orlando just said, he. You know, Fantasia came over and said, hey, you know, Mickey Mouse came over with his little wizard wand in his hat and said, okay, here. You know, magically now it's 3-3 with as much people as everybody likes to say, okay, there was only 4 minutes of stoppage time, but that's at least 4.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yes, Molino shouldn't have had that tacky foul, but at the same time, we have to execute the defense against it. So when you don't execute off of a free kick, look what happened, 4-3.
How can the Crew stop the attacking shape of a 4-2-3-1?
Of a 4-2-3-1,
That's Orlando's attacking shape.
stop them in the middle. Don't let them get past that midfield line.
Mm-hmm.
And if they do, they don't go that far.
Yeah.
Columbus is patient. That's what our previous opponents podcast, the Stripes and Scarves, said Columbus is one of the most patient teams in the league, that they'll frustrate you by doing that. So if we're holding up play in the middle, stopping them there, right? We're frustrating them. We're making them come to us. And it's going to open up those channels with, Yao, with Cucho, with, Rossi, even with Aiden, or even with Darlington. Open up, Moreira coming back. That's the thing. If Moreira comes up high like he has been, somebody needs to drop back to that back pocket.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of leaving Camacho and Amundsen to, pretty much play, side to side, right? So I think it all starts in that middle. That's where, that's how you stop the 4-2-3-1. It's just like hockey, right? You have your blue line, your red line, and your blue line, right?
Mm-hmm.
A great hockey team will stop you in between those two blue lines, right? They won't let you get across either center ice or cross that blue line. They'll stop you. It's what Columbus needs to do.
Columbus's approach, attacking shape, as we know, is a 3-4-3. Defensive shape, 5-2-3 to a 5-3-2. Unlike Orlando, the Crew have not been malleable. I don't know, man. This year, head coach Wilfred Nancy knows exactly how he wants the team to play, controlling possession early and often. No team in MLS averaged more of the ball than Columbus during the regular season. Playing out of a 3-4-3 shape in possession, the Crew want to bait opposing defenses forward with short passes before quickly knifing into open space in the attacking half. With the ever-dangerous Cujo Hernandez running the show in the attack and a lethal counter press creating a host of chances, Columbus can play through any defense in MLS. I don't think there's a lot to talk about here. I mean, we just need to keep doing what we're doing. But maybe kind of a little bit more aggressive.
Being more methodical.
Yeah, that thing. Whatever that is. Wait, no. Remember, it's a thoughtical for you guys because it has an M in it. So it's a thoughtical.
Listen. Listen.
You don't have to give you shit, man.
I know.
You know I have to give you shit. Trust me, if it helps, Florida State and Florida out their quarterbacks for the weekend. So I have no hope.
I know.
I have no hope.
Hey,
so.
you guys actually got to. Oh, well, no, they don't. Florida State has a good backup.
Yeah. So.
Sorry about your luck.
Yeah, it is what it is. I'm used to it.
I mean, nothing has came out of the state of Florida since the Gators beat the Buckeyes. But
2 Stanley Cups for the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Okay, well,
You said nothing great's come out of Florida. Just had to remind you.
yeah, I know. Leave me alone. No, but they just have to be more methodical.
Yeah.
More methodical, but be aggressive at the same time and be calculative. Can I say that? Calculative. Love you, Coach Nasi. But no, just you have to be. You got to be aggressive against Orlando, who is running on so much emotion right now.
Mm-hmm.
Just the last part of the quarter part of the season. Look who they just put out, Nashville. You talk about the reigning, MVP and Golden Boot winner from last year.
Hani Mukhtar.
You got who else? Walker Zimmerman.
Good old Walker, yeah.
You know, Shufflebird.
Jacob.
You know, their keeper was actually pretty good. I can't remember his name now.
Joe Willis.
Yeah. So, I mean, you had Teal Bunbury.
Mm-hmm.
You had Lyle. You know, you had other players on there that, you know, did something, right?
Yeah.
But Orlando with pretty much misfits. You know, I'm gonna call them misfits. You know, ran through people. You know, beat New England, beat Philly, beat Nashville, beat us.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, it's just like beat Atlanta.
Mm-hmm. Orlando's X Factor, Pedro Galice. If you watch the Crew push past Atlanta United in round 1, you know what they do to teams with subpar goalkeeping. Absolutely mental. Brad Guzan struggled in match 3 of that series, so Columbus walked away with 4 goals and an easy win. On the flip side, Pedro Galice has been among the better goalkeepers in MLS this year. He finished 15th in MLS in expected goals saved above expected. Okay, got it. Makes sense. I was reading it too fast. He finished 15th in MLS in expected goals saved above expected in the regular season per FB Ref. That's, I believe, Football Reference. There's little doubt Columbus will create chances at Explorer Stadium, especially since they finished with more non-penalty expected goals than any other team in the regular season. Galice will be tested. If the Peruvian international is up to the test, Orlando's odds of reaching the Eastern Conference final skyrocket. So
He's gonna get tested.
he's going to get tested. Somebody, I think it was Mike, in the interview just now. Somebody alluded to he's a keeper with 8 arms. It was the octopus.
Yeah.
He's good though.
I give him that, but I'm gonna tell y'all this right here. What to watch out for Columbus. Somebody got called up to the national team. To their national team, right? Now that makes their head even bigger when it comes to on-field action. And that's Cucho. Getting called up to the Colombian men's national team, right? Now he's made it back to that stage, right? Now he wants to stay there. He's going to come out, because I don't think he played against Brazil. And I don't think he played the other game either. But he's going to come out on fire, right? And who knows who he was recruiting down there in Colombia to come play for Columbus next year, right? I mean, Cucho's going to be on fire to test Galice.
Mm-hmm.
Then you add in, I said it last, at the end of the Atlanta game, Nagbe with that banger. We're winning the cup. He's had 4 bangers this year. We only get 1, right?
1 per year.
1 per year. We got 4 this year, okay? He scores against Orlando, we're definitely winning the cup. Because he's not one that scores often.
Yeah.
Right? But when he does, it's a hell of a goal. Right? So you got Cucho that will put all that pressure on Galice, which will open up for doors for like Aiden. Aiden wanted to take a shot or 2 against Atlanta, right? Yeah. Rossi. Rossi needs to score 1 more to get his confidence back. Right? I think that's his issue. And we saw that with Cucho.
Mm-hmm.
Cucho was shooting, he'd get a goal here, 5 games go by, get another one. But then when he started scoring goals,
when he started connecting, it was like he can't be stopped.
It was after that hat trick against Montreal.
Yeah,
in Montreal.
In Montreal, yep.
He started, nonstop, getting at least 1 goal a game.
Yep.
Right?
And I think he scored a natural hat trick. Foot head PK.
Yes, it was here. It was against
It was Montreal. In Montreal.
He also scored a hat trick here in Columbus.
That was his first career hat trick.
Yes, and
That
then
was
he
his
had
first-
a second one.
Oh.
Yes, it was here in Columbus. Yes. Look up how many hat tricks. Because he scored one here, and everybody went crazy.
Oh, it was that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Chicago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about that one.
It was a Wednesday night game.
Yeah, I know because I wasn't there. That's why I was saying no. I wasn't there. I was at
ODU.
Dominican. Yeah.
So he's got a natural hat trick here.
That was 2 PKs.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So
The natural one
one
was
in Montreal.
Montreal.
It was a PK. It was
a PK. Oh, no, it was a left-right PK.
Yep.
It was
The
a
header.
left-right PK, and then it was 2 PKs, and then a header in against Chicago.
Yeah. So he started scoring against Montreal, and it just, he's at least had one goal,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
So Rossi scores one more, scores against Orlando, and I think that confidence, you'll see the Rossi from LAFC, from 2020
2020
and 2021, or
Yeah.
I think he left in 2021.
Yeah.
So you'll see the Golden Boot winner from 2020.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see that resurface.
Cruz, Columbus's X factor. Take a guess.
Cucho,
No.
Patrick Schulte,
No.
Camacho.
Yep. Third time's a charm. What's his name?
Rudy Camacho.
No, the writer.
I don't know.
Joseph.
Joseph.
Lowry says, I said it above, but it's worth emphasizing once more. Columbus will create chances. They're exceptionally well-drilled and incredibly talented. The attack isn't the question for Nancy. Neither is the counter-press. Rather, the biggest question for the Crew is about defending deep closer to their own goal. Columbus allowed the 10th most non-penalty expected goals entering the playoffs, according to FBref. At times, they failed to put enough pressure on the ball and to suitably track runners inside the box. And then they go on and embeds the Atlanta United's second goal as to, show the problem.
Yeah.
As a centermost defender, Rudy Camacho can help organize the Crew's defense as they deal with Orlando City's attacking waves. So it was almost a disaster with Camacho, but I think he's been pretty stellar since joining Columbus.
And I think that was like when we played Orlando. I think that was right around the time that Camacho was just now starting to be a consistent starter.
Yeah.
So, he already knows Nazi system.
Played under it for a
But
couple years.
he was just trying to get back used to his system and, everybody else around him.
Yeah, the players around him.
So, and I think that, it just was the communication,
Mm-hmm.
right? Now he's, played, a quarter of a season with the team, and look what the hell they're doing. Who's had the most goals scored in the playoffs so far?
No, it's definitely and like out of both teams?
Out of all teams.
Out of all teams?
Out of all teams.
Is it Cucho?
Columbus has scored the most goals out of all teams.
Oh, you're talking
Overall.
I thought you meant players.
No, overall, Columbus has scored the most goals out of everybody with 8. 4 in game 3, 2 in game 2, 2 in game 1.
Yep.
8 goals.
My dumbass was about to say, no, dude, that's definitely 10. But I forgot. I was taking the 4-2 loss and putting it in game 1. Yeah. Yep.
That goes to show you right there. And I think they had 2 more goals. I think St. Louis. No, not St. Louis.
In the regular season?
No. In the playoffs so far. Cincinnati's only scored like 2 goals in the playoffs. Not counting they scored like 3 goals in the playoffs. Not counting PKs against the Red Bulls.
I think so. I can't remember what their schedule. Here it is. Oh, that's the international window. So, Jesus Christ, I forgot they ended their series early.
Yeah.
There's one. Four. They won 3-0 at TQL and then 1-1 tie against the Red Bulls at Red Bull Arena.
Cucho's tied for the most goals scored in the playoffs so far. Manuel and Bawanga are the only other 2 players with 3 goals. Then it's Barlow.
Who's out?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's... Yeah.
Any other notes you want to talk about for the Columbus Crew?
No, I mean, we just need 2 more. We need Orlando to, we need to beat Orlando. Philly needs to beat Cincinnati. And
then we'll beat Philly.
Yeah, and then we get to host
MLS Cup.
We get to host the Eastern Conference Final.
And then we get to host MLS Cup if we win.
Hypothetically, who out of the West, Columbus gets to the Cup, right? Who do you want to see Columbus play? Who do you think would be a great matchup out of the teams that are there now?
Out of the West?
Yes.
Who do I think?
Yes.
Or who do I want?
Both.
Who do I think? LAFC.
LAFC coming out. So they're getting by Seattle?
Yeah. Who do I want? That's a toss-up. That's a toss-up between 2. It'd be a toss-up between Seattle and KC. I think we have a better chance against Seattle, though.
You think?
Yeah. We've played them before. They still have the same core from 2020. They still have Stefan Fry. They still have Nico Ladera. They still have Raul Ruiz-Diaz. They still have Jordan Morris. They still have Nuhu. They have that core that lifted them to 2020. We can get by them easily. I think KC, but it's going to be tough because they are literally the underdog because they are the lowest seed. I think KC could also be easy. I think it's just a matter of not taking it to PKs because Tim Melia is good in PKs.
Man.
I think it's also a thing of containing Alan Pulido and Johnny Russell. But who do I think? It'd be LAFC. Who do I want? Seattle or KC? Easy.
I feel the same way. I feel the same way. LAFC is going to be the one coming out of the West.
Yeah.
But the 2 that I'm leaning towards is KC or Houston.
Okay.
KC has to get through Houston to get to the Western Conference Finals. Houston is not an easy place to play.
No.
We found out earlier this year, but so did Portland, and then Portland, fired, their head coach before they even got to the team playing. Right? So I want KC just because of the historical factor. Right? The historical factor of Columbus playing their sister team. If you look at it, their sister team was Dallas and then also Kansas City. Because who owned them? Lamar Hunt.
Mm-hmm.
So I really I would love to have a historical match between two historical teams. Now they do that, KC gets to the cup, they have to bring the Wizard jersey out.
No, they won't.
But I know they won't, but how classic would that be? Columbus versus the Wizards for the cup?
No. Because then people are going to have a shit fit if they put the new crest on an old jersey.
I'm not talking about, we keep ours, right? We keep our jersey, but or we even come back out with the throwback jersey with the old crest. You have to keep it. You have to keep it retro. If you do it right,
if you start retro, you have to keep it the entire retro. However, branding purposes, the club's going to put the new crest on the old kit. That's going to cause a lot of uproar. That's not what the team want to see heading into a very important matchup.
I get it, but if they were to just do, that one game only, where KC came out with the Wiz, and the Crew came out with a retro kit, right? That would be it would be a fun match to see two of the originals go at it for MLS Cup. But they have to get by Houston first.
Mm-hmm.
And if they do get by Houston, they're not getting by LAFC. There's too much power there.
Yeah.
Right? So now Houston, on the other hand, would have, I think, the advantage over LAFC. Or no, as far as hosting the Western Conference. Because I know Seattle was the number 2 seed. LA was?
Yeah. LA's 3, Houston's 4.
But Seattle's 2.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's a wide open West, honestly. I think LAFC will be back in the cup.
Yeah.
Cup championship. Or at least in the Western Conference, so.
Yeah. I think that I see that being the West champion, LAFC.
But that's a great match. That would be a great matchup.
There's only room for one black and gold.
And it starts here in Columbus.
Do you want to end yellow card, red card, or?
None this week.
None this week?
No.
You don't have anything this week?
No, I've actually been peaceful.
Same. It's been a very odd week. Of course, it is a short week because of the holiday. So.
Well, I got one yellow card.
Okay.
All right. I got one yellow card. And it's for Team Up North fans. I can stand y'all.
What?
But I don't like y'all because y'all live in a state of denial. Right? I know. Hold on. With everything that's going on, if you're presented with all the evidence about the sign stealing, right?
I've never seen a fan base more infatuated with their rivals than Ohio State fans. I'm just saying that now.
They're infatuated by us too, but
I don't see it every fucking day though.
Because you don't have them on your Twitter.
Why do you have them on your Twitter? Continue.
Nah, but it's just we'll see you on the 25th. That's all I'm gonna say.
I'm in the minority here.
I hope Florida beats Florida State.
Me too.
No, because I think Florida State's just overrated. They don't play nobody.
Look at the pot calling the kettle black.
Hey, we had some, a top 10 win over Notre Dame.
But that's not an elite win. I'll tell you that right now. You face a team with 100 in either 11th or first strength schedule. That's not an elite
Notre
win.
Dame?
Yes. That's not an elite win. Come on.
That's debatable.
That's not an elite win. That's definitely not an elite
but
win.
I mean, okay, strength of their schedule, yes, it's not. But according to with them being ranked,
Ranked, okay, sure. Whatever.
that's what the committee's
fine.
looking. That's what the committee's looking at. But
Yeah.
we'll get off American football back to real football.
Like I said, I'm in the minority here.
Hey,
I'm a Florida fan, so
but
I have my reasons. I don't have a yellow card though.
But other than that, it's been peaceful.
It really has been. I don't have a yellow card. I don't even have a red card this week. It's just been
Blah.
meh. Meh. That's
The
all it's been.
The Emoji Movie.
I still haven't seen that.
Oh my God!
I still haven't seen that.
It's hilarious. It's even better when you're drunk.
Is it? I
Yes.
might have to watch that. That's it for us here at the Wiseman's Head Podcast, powered by Yama Media. Ty Fisher alongside Jerald Lucas. It's finally good to have video back.
Yes.
Golly. I
do
think we
wanna-
need to do this more often.
I do want to say shout out to Ray. He was on the show last week,
Mm-hmm.
and him showing off our merchandise. That shirt looked pretty good.
Yeah.
Man.
Oh. I forgot something.
Uh-oh.
So we asked you guys to send in your questions. I don't know. Okay, Scott Fultz. I don't know how green cards work.
Don't look at me.
He says, "Do you have any idea about green cards? At the beginning of the season, I would have been happy upgrading Yeboah and Matan. They've had seasons where it would be preferable to keep both." Yeah, I don't know how they work though.
So define green card. So is it to get them to be naturalized?
It's basically for them to
Like what Lucho's doing?
yeah.
So becoming a naturalized instead of just, on here on a visa. Okay. That's a great question. That's something that we could bring into the off season
Yeah.
and we can ask about it. When Bez has his
End of year.
end of year, we can ask about, hey,
How does this work?
how does this work in MLS?
And how can the team apply, and how can you apply it to the team?
Yeah.
He goes on to say, if all of Camacho, Shaberko, Cucho, Farsi, Matan, Morera, and Yeboah take up international slots next season, that doesn't leave a lot of wiggle room before trades. I don't think Viasia's contract is purchased. Morera may not be back, but that will be his choice, not the team. Continued. If this is Morera's last dance, do you pencil Zawadzki in as the right center back starting spot next season?
I think if Morera does go,
It will suck.
it'll be a hard pill to swallow, but, we have to take our medicine, right?
I mean, some of us still trying to take medicine for Lucas leaving.
I still have the video.
Oh yeah, same.
Uh,
As I think I do.
I got the audio from the interview after the game, and then me photobombing as he's walking by to the locker room. Yes, I think if Morera does leave on his own, I think Sean is the right back. However, I think Bez would have something in the works
Yeah.
to bring in somebody to be a permanent right back, because I love Sean for this. Sean is the Swiss Army knife for the team. He's played every single position except for keeper. And I'm pretty sure if Patrick got hurt and we were out our subs, and you said it too, Sean would step in there to be keeper. You know what I'm saying? So I don't like limiting Sean now to one position.
Yeah.
You know, we've seen him play wing. We've seen him play, center back. We've seen him play right back. We've seen him play left back. We've seen him play,
He played striker in game 3.
he played forward. So, I mean, he's played every position except for head coaching and, keeper. So I think Sean would be a start there going into camp, but I think Bez would have a couple aces up his sleeve.
Yeah.
To not keep Sean in a specific position. Because I think Nazi likes him using him as that Swiss Army knife.
Yeah.
Being able to say, okay, Sean, well, this game you're going to be here. Or Sean, you're going to play, left back. Or you're going to play center back. Or, hey, you know what? We're going to put you out front and you run with Cucho.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
But I think that's where, Sean goes. I think Sean doesn't need to be a specific position guy.
Yeah.
But I think Bez already has some aces up his sleeve, just waiting for the season.
Yeah.
And then seeing who they want to keep, who they want to let go. I mean, it sucks Viacia didn't get that much, time.
Did he get hurt?
He did get hurt, and he was out for a little, with an extended period of time. So,
I think from what I saw of Viacia, he was pretty solid.
he was. But then you also talk about you got Will Sands coming back.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate to say it, but Josh is probably going to retire at the end of the season.
That's another for the Ring of Honor.
Yes. You have to
Yeah.
for him.
Yeah.
But other than that, great question by Scott.
Yeah. Other than that, I don't think anything else. Anything else on your mind?
Go buy merchandise.
Shout out Ray for being the first to buy a Wiseman Say shirt.
That shirt look nice.
And it does. Check out our link, our pinned tweet. This is loose, bro. ADD. Check out our merchandise store, pinned link to our tweet on Twitter. Follow us on Twitter at WisemenPod. What's your Twitter again?
614 at Bucknuts 614 or 614 Bucknuts.
Yeah, that thing. Fisher Tyler with 2 underscores at the end. I think that's it for this episode.
Catch me on Vavel.com.
You guys can catch me on MassiveReport.com. So
Hey, go check out all the articles, post game previews.
yeah, right. And for those on, I think it's Spotify only. If you guys feel generous and want to hit the supporter link at the end of the description, go ahead and do that. Every penny to the show goes back into the show, as always, for food, travel, gas, hotel, software, equipment, all that fun stuff. If you don't feel like donating, share the show. The more listeners, the better. So, other than that, again, it's good to have a video back. It's fun. I can't wait to edit this.
Hey,
I can't wait to edit this.
It's good to so you guys can see our ugly faces once again, even though you see us at the tailgate.
You see him at the tailgate, not me, because I get there right at like 5:30, and I
just
go,
admit it, you're shy.
I'm not sure. I have been to so many crew tailgates in my lifetime. Now, hold on, bombshell. Before we actually sign off, there may, if this happens, if it's on the schedule, there may be a game where I will be a fan and I will be at the tailgate. You just have to figure out which one it is. You'll have to guess. So, other than that, that's it for the show.
They cut logs.
No.
Oh, really?
No.
Oh.
Nope. I also don't think that we'll play them next year because we played them this year. I think we'll go to Seattle next year. That's just my guess. But take a guess at which game I will be at as a fan if it's on the schedule. And I will see you all there. Ty Fisher, Jerald Lucas. This is the Wisemen Say podcast brought by Yamo Media. Jerald, my friend, as tradition goes, Wisemen Say.
Only fools rush in.
Peace out, A-Town.
Stay wise, yo.
C-Town, my bad. I tried to do my best, a little John impression.
Yeah.